Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another OCC podcast. I am your host, David Jansen. Joining us today is Clifton Erickson. How are you doing, Clifton?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well, and you're looking super jacked.
I wish I'm still on my way up. I'm trying to bulk up for Jordan Sill, so it's gonna be interesting.
Awesome. That's incredible. So, obviously, you're an arm wrestler. How did that come to be? In your childhood, were you an arm wrestler like growing up? Did you always want to arm wrestle all the bigger kids, all the kids around? Or kind of take us through like what kind of background you had growing up that brought you to the strong arm wrestler that you currently are?
Um, well, I mean, I guess everybody's kind of arm wrestled in like school and cafeterias and stuff, but I never did it to the point where I was like, oh, let's just repeatedly do this. In school, I wrestled for 13 years. Had some scholarships offered to me, turned them down for. I still went to school and stuff, but I just kind of just got burnt out because I was doing summer camps throughout the year, and it was pretty much all year wrestling for 13 years straight. I did that, and then I boxed for 6 years, and then after so I've been in this competitive one person, relies on yourself to make sure you do well. If you do shitty, that's on you. You got to get back to the drawing board. So I've relied on that pretty much my whole life. Never been into team sports, just being on myself. Well, I was with she was my girlfriend. She's my wife now at the time, and we were laying in bed, and of course the movie Over the Top came on, and I was laying in bed watching it, and I was like, "Ah, this is kind of interesting." And she, of course, was like, "This is the dumbest thing ever." And I was like, "Well, I kind of like it, so I'm going to start doing it." And this February of 2026 will be 15 years I've been arm wrestling.
So, kind of you got your start through Over the Top, the movie with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, and I kind of, and then, after that, I went into my first tournament was North Dakota States. I got like fourth or something like that. I won the amateurs, got fourth in pros, and that was when I was 154. And then went from there on to my next tournament, and I didn't really, that was just me, when I go to the gym, we're going to do stuff like this, and just, just trying to get conditioned maybe like 2 days, 3 days before going to it. Then when I went to the next tournament, which was at Borrowed Bucks here, that's closed down now, I got smashed. And after that, I ran into some people that were there by the names of Eric Gunch and John Gunch. And John and Eric both have national titles. They both have wins on world champions that are from around here. And I was like, "Hey, can I train with you guys?" And they're like, "Okay." So John and Eric pretty much trained me for, I would say, a good 9 years. And then they both kind of, John, he's pushing almost 70. Eric, he's up there in his, he's like 45, 46, but he had some back injuries. So he kind of dwindled out a little bit. And now since then, I've been holding all the practices, or my, one of the other teammates that we have, because I've picked up people along the way, of course, that have wanted to start. And we flip flop between houses and keep going like that. So, I mean, I've been doing at least one practice of actual table time practice every week for 15 years.
Wow, that's incredible. That's a lot of work. But also, you can see, as in other martial arts or stuff, sports, there's a lot of teamwork that goes on behind the scenes many times. When you come to the table, as in arm wrestling or as in other matches in martial sports, it's a one on one battle. But behind the scenes, there is an incredible amount of time and effort put into teamwork where you're working with your team, working with different opponents, working with different styles, contrasting styles, and then finessing yourself to where you are a better puller and slowly over the years ranking up. How has that gone for you over the
And
years? Obviously, we see you now pulling on stages like Mac, Montana Armbenders. They got some incredible events going on, and we've seen you on like these. How have you gotten to that stage in life? Because obviously, like you said, you were very strong, winning the tournament amateur and then taking fourth at in pros there shortly after, and that's obviously like 15 years ago. But how have you climbed those ranks to where you're stepping onto that, you're right at that level where you're getting to the elite pro?
What kind of happened actually? So I mean, I started moving up very, very quickly, I would say, or religiously. I've been around for quite a long time. So I was in the WL stage, I was in the UAL stage. So that's back before most of the guys that I trained with didn't even know what the hell arm wrestling was, pretty much as a professional sport. So I mean, I went to WAL when it was in Vegas in 2015. I placed 12th out of 46 people in my weight class, it was like 187. And then after that, I did Arnold's. I got beat out in Arnold's. But then after that, then I started raising a family and having kids and being married, and stuff kind of I had to draw back a little bit. So I've been out of this. I haven't been out of the scene. I still hit the surrounding areas. I've been doing that for years. And I've still constantly trained, but I just kind of fell off the radar for a while. It was actually kind of funny when I had my match against Jamie Sheldon. I was on a podcast with Paul Italia, Jamie Sheldon, and RVJ. And Jamie was talking about me and everything. And RVJ is the one that actually beat me out of the WL finals. And so I think it was kind of a shock to Jamie and a lot of people there when Jamie brought me up. And then he was, talking about me and his match. And then RVJ brought up not to slouch on me because people slouched on me at that tournament. And RVJ's words was I was steamrolling people that I should have no right to steamroll. So I was doing really well. It's just, life got in the way and I had to back off on being mainstream. And 2023, no, 2000 and yeah, I think it's 2020. Let me see. I'm looking at my posters. Yeah, 24 was Jamie Sheldon. So 2023, it was kind of like my first kind of return back to doing mainstream stuff. And that was with a guy named Brian Johnson, who's like a legend out of Montana, very good puller. I was never ever actually good at super matches. I was not a super match puller. I was always tournament, because back then super matches was not even a thing. It was mainly tournaments. Super matches came once in a while, but now everything's completely flip flopped. Pretty much use tournaments just for training and super matches for ranking and moving up. But in 2023, I went against Brian Johnson, and I always joke that he's the guy who kind of kick-started back my fire of training like ridiculously again, because he beat me 3-0. And after that, everything just took off. And then the year after that was Jamie Sheldon. The year after that was John Therian, which I did lose to John 3-0, but I think I showed a lot of stuff because I lost to John from speed, not so much technicalities or strength. I feel personally, and John will probably disagree, me and him are good buddies now, but I feel like I was stronger than John there. It was just speed. I wasn't able to catch him. But I did show in that match that I was able to stop somebody at an extremely high caliber to the point to where they couldn't move me or do anything, and they didn't know what to do. And that's when he did a professional foul and we did a restart. But that one thing, that was the first time I've ever lost a match 3-0. And then all of a sudden I got Mac, and then I went and beat Victor Belov 3-1, which was a good match. And then I'm kind of here I am right now. But the training has been crazy. So from like Brian Johnson to Jamie Sheldon, it was a lot of training. If you ask anybody who knows me, I probably train more than anybody. If not, I am probably the guy who should take rest days, and I don't. I got ADHD, and when hyper focus kicks in, I will just keep training, and me skipping a day, it's like coming with OCD, gives them a tick, and it's like, oh, I can't do that. And I tell my wife all the time, it's more of an addiction now than anything. I can't not train. So like right now, for instance, I know I'm kind of jumping all over, but right now I'm on day 19 in a row of training. I have not taken a break yet. I've arm wrestled either on the table or did training workouts 19 days in a row. I have not taken a break yet. But
Well, that's incredible.
I'm getting there though. I can start feeling it. Stuff's now starting, I still listen to my body to a point. But I'm starting to get to that point now to where it's like, okay, probably in the next like 5, 10 days, probably going to have to take a couple days off. But, so with Ryan Johnson, kicked it into gear, started training a lot. Jamie Sheldon, once I beat Jamie Sheldon, then everything I changed a bunch of stuff. I started doing actually before even Michael Todd was doing this. I was doing maxes 3 times a week of just arm wrestling. I stopped. I kept going super heavy in the gym, like bench press, squats, deadlifts, doing all that stuff. But I never maxed. I stopped maxing in the gym and I kept maxing only in arm wrestling specifics. And that made me jump up like crazy. I did the same thing for John Tyrion. And then once I lost to John Tyrion, I realized, okay, my speed is an issue. I need to train that. So then I adopted a portion of Todd Hutchings' training with the speed and the chains, except I do higher percentages. So I'm doing more weight and more maxes a week and stuff than when he did. It's kind of a hybrid version of him. And that's what I use to train up to Victor Belov. And now I'm continuing doing that right now.
Oh, that's incredible. How did you kind of find your style in arm wrestling? There's so many different styles for people watching stuff. There's what's called a hook style, and then there's like drag hook, high hook, top roll, press, flop press, and so on and so forth. How did you find your style in arm wrestling? I know you're a very side pressure based arm wrestler from what I've watched over the last while. Kind of give us how you finessed your style and kind of what you do to really try to execute that.
So I never was, for the first 4 years, I never was a hooker or side pressure guy. I was all finger top roller, starting up high, releasing and grabbing and top rolling like that. All finger based top roll. And I hurt myself at South Dakota State's in Yankton. And it hurt so bad I could not pronate. I couldn't do any of that. So I was like, okay, I don't want to, I got to take a break to hell it's healed, but I don't want to. Yet again, ADHD thing. I was like, I don't want to take a break. So I was like, well, hell with it. I'm just going to start hooking. And I was doing traditional hook all the way down like this in. And I started training that. My coach, John Gunch, the old timer of the group back then, we'd set up, he has like a hanging apparatus on a pulley. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio, but the weights, it would go down like this and the weights would go here. So then what he would do is we'd put weights on it. I'd go like this, and then he would take a 45, drop it on there, and I'd have to hit and stop. He'd take more weight, drop it on, and I'd have to keep doing that until it would get to where I couldn't hold anymore. And we did stuff like that all the time. And that's kind of what got me into the initial side pressure hooking. Then once this healed, I started transitioning into what I like to call it is a hand hooker. So I like hooking rather than a traditional like this. I like hooking into the hand up here, like this, into this area. I like staying into the hand. So I'm a very rise dominant side pressure hooker. So rise is probably super key to me. Started doing that, and that's kind of what stuck now. Now I'm trying to work on other things. I know Victor Belov, a lot of people see that match of me losing my hand every round, which I did lose my hand one of the rounds, but a lot of people don't know the other rounds. I didn't even try to keep my hand. I actually purposely gave it up because I was like, well, this is working. Don't fix something that's not broke. So I was like, heck with it. I'm just going to keep doing this. But I don't even train to do a top roll, to fully do a top roll. I always train to stop moves. So like I work pronation and stuff like crazy. I have really good numbers with my pronator, but it's from being here to here. It's not from being here going across. It's to stop your move. And my way of thinking about that is if you can generate 100 pounds of top rolling and I can generate 100 pounds of the initial move of a top roll like this, technically I should neutralize you. So if I can neutralize you here, that puts me straight into my hook. If I can neutralize you in a press, that puts me straight into my hook. Everything is led to go to my hook.
Well, that's incredible. No, for sure. And I think that is everyone should be specialized and train, especially to what their technique is and stuff. Because I see many times that new people, they will train something that is very inefficient and doesn't generate anything they're ever going to use in their matches, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So you already said a little bit, but you have a family and obviously try to do a lot. How do you kind of work all your workouts, all table time and stuff into family time? And then how do you prefer, like, if you could only train weights or table time, which one would you take?
So the first question, I mean, working in, like last year I think it was like 11 tournaments I hit last year. That was the most I've ever hit ever. My group didn't think I was going to do it. And I was like, heck with it. I'm going to try to keep hitting as much tournaments as possible. Then I started getting in that super match scene. I haven't really hit much now, but, most of my training is done either on like lunch breaks, for my work, or what I like to do is I usually wait until everybody goes to bed and I'll train 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Um, Sometimes when I get home, I train for like an hour, so 6 to 7, and then I hang out with the kids for an hour and then they go to bed, stuff like that. So I make it work. Realistically, my process of thinking about it is that, the kiddos, they got to go to bed pretty early anyways for school and daycare in the morning. So, um, if I'm should be getting an hour and 45 minutes technically with them with no training, but sometimes I only get like an hour and 10 minutes or an hour. So it's not a huge thing because I'm very family oriented, like on the weekends and stuff like that. Me and the family go do a bunch of stuff. So the family's really supportive. I make sure that kids are not neglected, wife's not neglected, stuff like that. And then what was the last part?
How do you, if you could only train table
Oh,
time or weights?
there is no way in hell I could stop training weights. Because I feel like me and Victor was a perfect. Ian Carnegie said it perfect. It's he said that Victor was more like the ninja. He had all the skills, all the angles, all the moves, stuff like that. And I was more of the diesel truck that if I got into a lane that I was strong in, pinning me was going to be very, very hard, which I proved that. So that's like kind of where I'm at right now is I like doing training in here. And yes, I get a lot of stuff done. Like you were saying, it is a teamwork thing when it comes to the backside of training before your one-on-one matches. 100% agree. I learn a lot. My guys teach me things. I teach them things. I'm able to neutralize power with like weight wrapped to my hand onto a pulley, pulling pulleys over and arm wrestling people with cable systems on. But I would say for me, I think, shoot, man, I gotta say 70% of probably from the last like 5, 6 years, 70% of my increases is from me being in here, on my own, doing my stuff because I'm very religious on it. I'm constantly training and I don't miss. I make sure everything is repetitive. A lot of people could say that I feel like, and don't get me wrong, table time's awesome. If I could do that much table time, I would. But we have a group of like 6 people. You can't really do that much table time. When you go to like Edmonton or something or Red Deer, and you got 20 guys, like, okay, that's a whole different ball game. I'm able to be able to do all those table times. I'm able to get groups together and stuff. But on this, yeah, it was in the gym has really, really created me, because of the consistency. If a person goes in the gym and doesn't have consistency, I don't think they would have as good as results as I do in here than what they do on table time. I think they would have better results on the table than they do here. In the gym, it is 100%. You have to be consistent. I mean, and if you look at stuff too, I mean, you look at, John Brzenk always stated, table time's the best. But then you look at like other people, look at like Todd Hutchings. Todd Hutchings, most of his training is at home doing pulleys and stuff like that. Dave, I'm having a freaking mental for it. Dave,
Chafee?
not Chafee. Yeah, Chafee. He's a big band pulley guy also. He does a lot of his training off the table. So, I mean, I feel like it's just something, it's how you adapt to it and you make sure that you are consistent in those realms and that you can stay consistent.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And I think there's so much key to that and how your style that you pull in and stuff and how you make it work. Like I was saying before, if you are training the same way that you pull, it works. But if you're not doing that, other than the injury that you said you had with your riser years ago and stuff, have you had other injuries? And kind of what did you do to, was it like any kind of rehab maintenance that you did, or what did you do to kind of help that injury get better?
I've had a couple like shoulder injuries and stuff like that, rotator cuff injuries. Now, um, I had a good buddy who was able to give me cortisone shot to help it out. I've had probably 6 cortisone shots in my career. Um, and like an idiot, the best thing you're supposed to do is get a cortisone shot, take a break. I got a cortisone shot and was like, okay, now I can train harder. But I was lucky enough to where all my stuff's still healed. I don't really have any issues. I haven't had a cortisone shot for probably 4 years now. Um, so everything goes good there. I have tried the BPC 157 on a little bit of brachialis because I'm so hand driven with hooking. This never gets sore on anything. Even when I was like pulling with Victor in that position here, never got sore here. It's all here that I get sore on. Because I'm so driven with rise, pronating, hand hooking, being in here like this. But so I've tried that. It actually worked out really well for me, and healed it up. And yeah, other than that, that's about it. I'm gonna do my shakes. I get all my creatine, glutamine, beet powders, stuff like that to keep me rolling.
Oh, that's very good. What advice do you have for new people coming into the arm wrestling scene?
Well, I mean, one of the biggest advice is to make sure that you're safe. I mean, it takes less than 15 pounds to snap your arm. So biggest thing is being safe. So like when new people come here, we are always teaching, being watching. If you can't see the back of your hand, you're in a bad position. So everybody's always like this. You're losing. You throw your shoulder down, you be like this. That's just how I was taught, and that's how I've pushed it forward. If you can't see the back of your hand, you're in a bad position. Um, but the biggest thing is, yeah, safety, and to not go all gung ho in the beginning. I mean, you're in all reality, even if you're really good naturally going up to it, most of the time you're not going to beat these guys, and they're not here to beat you. They're here to show you and teach you. So don't go in it going all crazy. There'll be a couple times like, but every guy that comes here, we'll get up to the table and I'll say, okay, you do what's natural to you and give me good pressures, and I'll keep them in the good areas and to get safe areas to where they're not going to get hurt. But that only is like a 5 second ordeal. So I can just feel their pressures where they're naturally good at pressures. After that, boom, we go back, and we teach on how to make their natural movements better. And that's the biggest thing. I got lucky. I trained with Devin Ford, Nathan Johnson, Ian Johnson. There's some guys in there that you might know, might not, but we all work very well together. Those Ian and Nathan have been with my group here for. I mean, it was just me and those two for probably 3.5 years. It was like just three of us training in here because everybody backed out. So we have 3 hour long practices, so everybody was pretty tired at the end of practice. But they do very well with teaching. I'd say that out of our group, Ian Johnson probably is the best person for teaching. He does very well with making sure that everybody's safe, and keeping me in line and stuff like that. It's does really well.
Yeah. What are some upcoming matches that you have?
So I got Armbender in February, an amazing event. I've been fortunate enough to be invited there for 3 years in a row. Josh Wilson, he puts on an amazing show. If you've heard of the Armbender, or haven't seen it, check it out. Amazing production. The guy literally goes all out for the athletes. Doesn't pocket like anything. I mean, we're talking. I mean, last year I don't think there was a super match that was under $300 put on the table from the sponsors. And the highest super match, well, Nathan Johnson, he walked away with almost $3,000. So, I mean, it's like constant money being on the table. He does a hell of a job, gets a hell of a crew. I've been fortunate enough to be able to be an athlete there and become friends with him and kind of know the ins and outs. So I appreciate everything he's done for me and my group. But I will be pulling Jordan Sill there in February, right-handed. Jordan's going to be coming in probably like 230, 235. I'm normally a 220 guy. I was about 215. Oh, I weighed in at 212 when I went against Victor and kind of stayed there. And now I'm about 220 again. I'm working my way up to try to get to 235, 240.
That's awesome. How do you feel that match is going to go? Obviously, the match hasn't happened, and you can.
How do you feel the match is going to go?
How do I feel? Well, I'm a huge fan of both of you guys. A huge fan of Jordan Sill. Been watching some of his stuff probably since like 2019.
Okay.
Um, I
I'm
think,
definitely the underdog.
yeah. Well, yeah. I think you're very strong. You've showed huge, like you said, with John Therian. I think there could have been a couple changes, especially in how some of the rules were done and how some things ended up. I think some things could have slightly changed into your favor. And then going against Victor Belov, I think you executed well. Yeah, it might not have looked like you had your hand, but you executed well. You came out with the win. Very impressive there. And he's a very strong guy that a lot of people don't realize how good he is. Jordan
I
Sill, I
know
feel,
now. He's
yeah,
very good.
Jordan Sill, I feel like is going to be a significant step up though
Right.
from that. Um, and I feel like it depends on what Jordan Sill the thrill shows up as, because sometimes he shows up and it's like, wow, like no one's moving him in his weight class, or depending on how it goes. And then the next time he shows up and guys that shouldn't beat him are giving him a match.
Right.
And so if he takes you for granted and shows up thinking it's going to be a walk in the park, I think you have a very good chance of winning. If he shows up super determined, I think the odds are in his favor, but I think you're going to be in the match regardless, because he's not normally going away from your lane. He's kind of sticking in where you want to go as well. So you're going to be able to apply your pressure and your power.
Right. I agree with pretty much everything. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. It's definitely the big taker on the whole thing is what you said with it depends on what Sill shows up. I've been watching Sill for a long time, and me and him have been. I mean, I've been asked to pull him, not asked to pull him. I've been told that I need to pull him throughout the years. Over a decade now, and he. It all depends on which one shows up because we've seen the one that is human and we've seen the one that is not. I agree with definitely the odds are in his favor. I put myself at like 35-65 or 40-60, somewhere around there. And then, yeah, I think the lane wise, I think I know where he's strong. And I think, like what you said, he's not too far away from the area that I go. So as long as I can neutralize some of his spots to where it's going to take control of me, I think I can give him something. Because realistically, I'm going into this match just like I did with Furion, which was I just want to win. I mean, yes, of course, I want to win at everything. But in my head, if I look realistically, I'm like, I just want to win one round. One round is all I need to show something. And with Therian, I didn't even have to win. And I showed people that, okay, I have something. So that's realistic. I feel like the same thing with Jordan. If he shows up, I feel like one round will kind of show me where I need to be. And the thing is with me, I'm a very mental puller. So once I get that one round, I feel like everything just goes like my strength is finally tapped. I mean, it gets untapped. I activate everything because I'm more confident in my head. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. Um, Anything else you want to say to that topic?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I would really encourage you, and it's not that I have tons of experience in arm wrestling stuff, but I would encourage you, as hard as you train table time and all your weight training, that as you come closer to that match, to mentally prepare yourself as much, because I huge believe that mental clarity on a day like that, and having where your sight is set on, you have a direction and that you are prepared for what's ahead in that moment and stuff, and that you are willing to give everything to get that win. I believe that when you can really come in prepared mentally that way, it helps huge with your other preparation as well.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody's told me for years that I'm definitely a huge mental puller. If I'm mentally not there, stuff starts to crumble. And I agree with you. If you aren't mentally involved and it's just all physical, stuff can crumble very fastly. Um, after Jordan, I know Ian has me on the Mac 5 card. I don't know when that's going to be yet. There's been talks of like who I wanted. I've told Ian before I even arm wrestled Victor that if I beat Victor, I want Brandon Elsesser. Like I really want that match. He's brought up Joe Fox. Now that I've had, I know Ian Carnegie thinks that would be a bad matchup for me, Joe Fox, but I think it'd be a good matchup. I think it'd be a fun one. So now somebody telling me I'm going to lose against him makes me really want that one also. But so we got those two, and then he's got other ideas of possibly popping up. I don't know, like I tell all these promoters that want me to go and do stuff. They're always like, "Well, who do you want?" And it's like, honestly, man, I'm fortunate enough for you to have me here. You pick who you're the promoter. You pick whoever you think I want to, who's going to get you the most views, who's ever going to, help you thrive, because that's really what matters. So, I'm just fortunate enough to get that. And that I'm thinking should be somewhere between May and July is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'd love to see you against Brandon Alcessor. I think that would be an incredible match as well.
I do too. I think it would be a lot closer than what a lot of people think. I think that one could be pretty close. Um, I I want to feel how strong he is because I feel like I have enough. I do have a really good hand. I know Victor's match and I didn't make it look like I do, but I do have a really good hand. I think I have enough to stop Brandon Elsesser's hand. Um, but I don't know. He's been looking pretty mean lately. He's been definitely itching his back way up.
Yeah, no, depending exactly, it all is as well as how hard are they training, what place are they coming into a match. Many times that has huge, and you see guys that are continuously climbing and wanting more and more, and coming with a game plan and coming mentally prepared to match after match. It really helps them in the long run and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it'll be interesting because I think a lot of people don't. Like I said, I'm not really mainstream, and I'm not like how I was before. So I feel like me going into these matches and stuff, people don't really know who I am at all. They're just like, oh, it's just another guy. And then when I tell them, no, I've been pulling for like 15 years, then everything changes a little bit. And they're like, oh, okay, so he actually knows what he's doing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not a newbie.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. When you look over the arm wrestling world currently, what stage are you wanting to hit? Obviously, there's the king of the table there, East versus West. Are you aiming for that spot, or do you have your sights somewhere else currently?
Well, I'm a very appreciative individual. So like I'm really, of course I'd love to go get invited to go onto one of those. I mean, that's like a dream come true by a lot of arm wrestlers. Yeah, I'd love to do it. But if, for instance, if they asked me to do that and I had a match set up or something that was very important to Josh Wilson and the armbender, and I had to decide which one to do, I'd do the armbender because I appreciate everything that he's done for me, and vice versa. The same thing with Ian Carnegie. Everything that he's done for me. Um, if something like that came up and he was like, oh, I really would like you to be here, I would probably turn it down and go to the Max series just because like I said, I'm an appreciative person. And those two organizations I will pretty much be ride or die with, I feel like, until they get sick of me, just because, they do stuff for me. It's only common decent courtesy for me to do stuff for them and to help them out as much as I can and stuff. So
No, it's incredible, and I believe Ian Carnegie is doing some incredible things. November 29th, I believe it is. He's got the Global Elite coming up, and so that's going to be. There's a lot of good matches there, and then I know
It's a lot of banger matches, dude.
like really high level matches have everything from intermediate level matches all the way through extremely high level matches. Guys that are ranked top 10 in the world, like
Yep.
in their weight classes. So, yeah, believe me, Ian is doing some incredible things. Even with his Challenger series, just really trying to put it out there that this is something for everyone and it's
Mhm.
viewer friendly. And I think the way that he's pushing it right now, it's kind of small scale and people aren't looking at him to be the big dog in the game. But I really believe that his dream is to make something that everyone can do and that it's not just about him, it's about how viewer friendly and stuff as well, so
Well,
that it's entertaining.
I talked very highly of Josh Wilson, but same thing. I'll talk. I'm very Ian Carnegie knows what the hell he's doing, and he does very well. He's helped me out. I mean, he knows exactly what he's doing. The reason why I like both those, I personally think that both the Armbender and Mac, I feel like they're both going to thrive and be probably the top. What some of I'm going to say within the top 4 to 3 tournaments, not tournaments, but organizations to be a part of, if not the top 2 tournament or 2 organizations to be part of in North America. The reason why I think that is just because you have 2 very different organizations of how they run. You have IFA rules, or it's kind of like a hybrid of IFA, WAF, armbender rules, but you got the cash cow is pretty much what you have with all the cash. Yes, there's some high end polls here and there, but it's a cash super match series. Then you have Mac, which is I think is more towards like you have some very high level matches. Yes, I mean you can get paid and stuff like that, but people don't go there to get paid. I didn't go there to get paid. I went there because of the opportunity. And that's what it is. I think both of them you have pretty much skill set and reputations and stuff like that of high levels, and then you have cash cow. I mean, not going to say there's not high level and skill set here, but I feel like more top dog guys are here than here. But that's why I think that they're both going to thrive because it's going to be, and what's awesome about it is that they both those 2 kind of have talked to each other and they have mingled back and forth, which makes everything a million times better for all of us athletes because now the chances of having this super match series stacked upon this super match series is very slim because you have 2 organizations that are working together. They're awesome. That whole tough thing that came out, that is I'm very interested in that because in wrestling, I used to do we used to do duels, which was like I said, you're still a 1 versus 1. I was never a team player, but when you go to duels, at least the points goes towards the team. And that's exactly what tough is you have a team, you go by a point system, you're building, yes, it's 1v1, but you're building on points, and then you get a different dynamic of how you partake into the match. Like, you get just a different adrenaline rush, you get everything like that. So I think tough also is going to be up there. I think those 3 are going to be like climbing like crazy. I mean, that's what I would really like to go on. There's just it's mainly in Canada, so I don't know if I can even do that or not. But that's a very interesting and awesome format. I feel like.
Yeah, I really believe that tough is going to level itself up really quick. Right now, they're just running a bunch of preseason games, which is incredible showing for the next year. The 2026 or whenever it is 2027 when they're scheduling the actual games to start, I think is going to be incredible. Just watching already the first official game that was released here in October.
Yep.
Awesome. I loved
Yeah.
watching it live. I wasn't able to do it all because that was over a Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. I had a lot of stuff going on, but everything I was able to, I loved it. It was quick and it was entertaining. And why people enjoy team sports is because you can root for a team that is near your location. So,
Right.
like the Toronto Smoke team, I live in Ontario. I live a couple hours from Toronto Smoke. I'm gonna be rooting for Toronto Smoke. I know some of the guys on the team and stuff. I'm gonna be rooting for them. It doesn't matter if I don't know a couple guys, or maybe I don't like all the team members, but they're from my location. I want that
Right.
team to win. And so then I'm gonna be telling my buddies like they don't know arm wrestling, but there's this team arm wrestling thing, and it was actually pretty entertaining. We should all get together, have some beers, and watch this. And then they're like, "Oh, it's actually pretty cool. Could we go there and drink beers and watch it?" And I really think it's going to be something that takes off.
What do you think? Hey, what do you think about John Tyrion against Eugene?
I
You
think it'll
see
be
that get
good.
posted? That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think it'll be really good. I don't know
That's a
Eugene
hard
well.
that's a hard one to pick of who I because I know Eugene he definitely has his own reputation. And he that's gonna be a hard one to pick who I mean for me, because I'm friends with Tyrion now, and we've been going pretty good for his friendship, and it's gonna be a hard one to pick who I think's gonna actually win that. I think it's gonna be a banger. What do you think? Do you think it's gonna come down to a power setup or whoever hits first?
I don't know. I don't know. I want John Tyrion to win. So
I
I'm very
agree.
selfish. I'm very selfish in that way to. But sometimes you get I think a guy's gonna win based on style and technique, but I don't know them enough and stuff. And then somebody comes out of the woodworks and surprises you. And I really think that Eugene might just have an awesome showing. John Tyrion hasn't lately had his best showings. I know he is better than what he's brought. And I'm sure there's things going on behind the scenes that the public doesn't know about. Many times family takes away time from training and stuff and you're not able
Yeah.
to, or whether it's work or whatever. I believe that John Tyrion has more in the tank, and I think it'll just be a matter of time, and he'll be really back. And maybe him versus Eugene will be where he is 100% again. He's been able to dig deep and put it all on the table. I want John to win. There's so many matches on that card, and there's a incredible matches. People that no one want are like, oh, whatever. I love some of Milo Laird's last matches and stuff. Like it's crazy how deep he's had to dig and stuff, and how he goes from flop wrist pressing to top rolling to hooking to kings moving to, and it becomes entertaining the last time how he was yelling and stuff. And then there's Alex Kurdecha going against oh shit, I forget the
I forgot
guy's
his
name.
name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I do too.
completely brain fart. But yeah,
I know Milo's going against Tim Lewis.
yeah, left-handed, I believe.
Yep. That'll be
Yeah,
that. I'm actually really excited about that match because I think that's going to be a really good match. I don't know if you've ever hooked up with Tim.
I've never hooked up with Tim. I've watched.
Ridiculously strong when it comes to his left hook. He always gets here, but if he gets into this position to where he's like this, he gets into this wedge position and it's just ridiculous. But Milo, he's got so much leverage and hand and back pressure to be able to manipulate. It's going to be a very interesting match.
Yeah, and he can really flop press on the left too, I think.
Right. Right.
So
That
I
one's going
think
to be
that
interesting.
yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. And there's so many more. Blake Bouillon, another local guy that you might not really know. Yeah, I think you might have met him at the last Mac
Yep.
card.
Yep. At the
Blake,
Mac. Yeah.
yeah, incredible guy. I know him well. He's got a match with I think it's Alex Toproll.
Oh, that's going to be a good one. God, there's
And
a lot of good matches on there, man.
I think he is majorly the underdog. Like I think it's literally an 80-20, but I want Blake to win just because he's a local guy. I know him. I think he's incredible. So
Oh,
yeah,
hey,
there's
Blake's a good dude.
oh he's
Blake, I
great.
got there's
He's an
pictures of me,
awesome.
him, and Victor after the thing. He was always saying he was actually honestly he was probably one of the first people that came up to me and knew exactly who I was and was like, "Hey, Cliff," and he's a really nice guy.
Blake's an awesome dude. Yeah.
And he's a
So we
strong
have
puller, very strong puller.
oh he's really good, really good. He's got a bit of injury on his right hand right now, but his left is really good right now. So we have in the comments, a guy says You should make a lot more videos. And then he says the super match I'm talking about would be Rieker Borman versus South Africa's number one on the left, and Terrence Opperman is still number one on the right. Yeah,
Okay.
those would be awesome matches. What are some other matches you're looking for? Oh, Corey Miller's on there. He's got a good match too, and I want Corey. I want Corey to win.
Who's he pulling again? He's pulling a.
Oh, I don't see. I gotta look
Shit.
where. I don't
I
have the
didn't come. I
card
didn't
pulled
come
up right now.
prepared, man.
I didn't either. I didn't think we'd end up talking about this.
I'm sorry. You'll start to get to know this, David. If you put me on your podcast, we're gonna be all over the damn place.
No, that's awesome. Let's see if I can pull it up here.
God, I know it's a good match. I know it's a really good match. Ian just told me this. Ian Carnegie just told me it. Shit.
Yeah, I literally just seen it.
Pull up. Do you have Corey Miller on Facebook?
Let
me see here. You can still hear me, I think. Let me see here. I'm gonna pull it up because I'm gonna find it right away. Come on. No, Corey. So Corey's going against Eugene also on the 29th.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is. Isn't he going against another guy too, though?
I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about because I know Therian and Eugene are pulling in the team event, and then and then Corey Miller's pulling Eugene also. What do you think about that? Do you think Corey's going to have too much speed for Eugene?
I think so. Corey's looking ridiculous. What he did to Bob Brown and stuff, that was crazy. That was just insane. I thought it was crazy.
What about, actually, here's one I want to bring up. What about, we're going to flip-flop here over to the Armbender, their main event or whatever. What do you think about it? It's Sandris versus Adam Warzinski right-handed.
Yeah, I
personally think that Sandris is going to win 3-0. I hope Adam can do something and show everybody that he's got something hidden. But what's your opinion?
I think that Sanders is going to toy with him, and I know people are looking forward to it. And I don't underestimate Adam Warzinski. Yeah, I don't underestimate him. Believe me, I watch him. I love his matches. He's had some incredible matches with David Samushia, and people just don't realize how good David is in that sticky spot. And then I've watched him recently at WAF. I watched all his matches. Incredible. The way he had wars and he just went back up to the table, had another war and beat the dude, and had another war and beat the dude. And yeah, there might be time in between, but hitting a max and then going even 10 minutes later and trying to hit a max the same or even harder again, just try to do it. Like, it's ridiculous. And the way he could do that, and he could sink the hook, and he could, WAF is strict, ridiculously strict. And to be able to play within the rules and to be able to take second place in that class, awesome. I don't underestimate him. But Sanders has been taking kind of a bit of a break. I think he's been hitting local tournaments and stuff, but he hasn't been on the main stage holding championships and stuff like that because he's been a world champion multiple times. But he's been taking a bit of a hiatus. I think he had a little bit of injuries, a little bit of stuff going on. And some of what I'm seeing seems to, and I've heard of guys talking and stuff, they say Sanders is getting really good again. And to me, even just watching how he played with RVJ last year, I think that RVJ and Adam would be a hard match. And if Sanders comes even better than that, I know Adam's going to level up. I know it, but I don't think. And then people are saying, but what if Adam gets him in a hook? Just look at Sanders. Sanders can pull ridiculously in a hook. He was in a hook war with Ibrahim Zaigov, which is the 115 kg champ at East vs. West, going against Dave Chafee coming up. He went in a hook with him on the third match. When he lost 3-0, it wasn't easy for Ibrahim. He
Well,
pulled Ibrahim out of his spot and stuff. So people are saying, oh, if Adam gets him in a hook, maybe he's going to win. I still think he will get him in a hook, maybe, but Sandris he will be in a higher hand position. He'll have the pronator, he'll have his pronator intact, and he'll have control of Adam's pronator. So even if it's in a hook, Adam will be in a downfall or a default hook position. And I
right,
think
and
that'll
that's
be
exactly
to
what I was.
detriment.
That's what I was going to exactly say, is that even if it goes into a hook and Adam is too strong for Sanders inside a hook, I don't think Sanders is going to hook and drive over. I think
No,
he's going to pull a mat mask and he's going to rotate out and come out of the hand. I think
but
he's strong enough to do it.
I don't even think so much that he would rotate out. I think that he would get in a hook, but he's not going to be down. He's going to be up
Oh, he's going to be
and then
up like how I
going
hook. Yeah.
up. Yeah. And then, but if he hooks, even if it were to get a bit too deep, he's not going to push through. He's going to push over.
Yeah, over like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like that. He's like deep inside pushing through. He's going to push over, and it's literally just going to rotate. Like Adam's going to be here in a hook. He's going to be like over supinated and like just pushed out of his shoulder. And yeah,
Right.
I want to see the match. I'll be watching it. I'll be
Yeah,
live
it'll be.
watching it.
I mean, I hope the best for
I
Adam. I hope he does well. I hope he shuts a lot of people up. I just
and,
think the odds are not in his favor.
yeah, and it's not me talking shit. Like I said from the first, I love Adam and watching
Yeah.
him. I think he's incredible. And if he wins, I mean, I will be shut up. Either he will be ridiculously strong, or Sanders is going to come in a terrible shape, which I don't believe he will.
I
Hey,
don't
and
think he's
all
going to
power
come
to
in
him.
terrible shape
No,
for this event specifically.
yeah,
Because last year when Sanders came for the finale, he told me I was talking with him after. He said, "This is the most money I've ever made at an individual event ever. That's the
that's
most money he's
crazy.
ever made in one thing."
Well, and it to me it holds somewhat of a prestigious title what they're going for because they are testing. It is a drug tested heavyweight world title.
Yep.
So people got to understand Sanders currently holds that. There are so many other places he could compete, but those are not drug tested events. Those are not they're not drug tested. They're not a heavyweight world championship drug
Yeah.
tested
And
league.
I'm
This
glad
is.
you've seen that too, because a lot of people think that the whole thing is, and it's not. Only specific matches, like right now, it's the heavyweight or super heavyweights or whatever heavyweights that are tested. This next one, that's coming up here, there's going to be another one that's added with a lighter weight, stuff like that. But it's a cool thing that's going on. I wish I knew some more matches that potentially could be on the Mac 5 card. So I don't want to leave Ian's tournament out because he's got such a hell of a tournament. But this November 29th thing, like we already talked about, is going to be ridiculous. I know this interview was supposed to be about me, but I have fun talking and cutting the
No,
shit about
that's
everything. So
no, that's great. While we're on this, what do you think? There's a couple matches I want to talk to you about, and the first one is Yoshinobu Kanai from
okay.
Japan versus Petro Maharent. They're having the match on Saturday. They're at East versus West 20. How do you see that match going?
I'm going to, man, when you looked at Yoshi versus Todd Hutchings with how locked he was in that position, I think Yoshi's gonna win. I do.
Yeah, I've heard
The
a.
only reason why I think that is because Todd Hutchings is one powerful dude, and we've seen him do some crazy stuff. And I like Yoshi's kind of king's move, but it's not. I mean, his shoulder's actually up. He's up here when he's doing it. He's
It's an open top roll, I think.
100% agreed. 100% open top roll, and it's solid as hell. Like I don't know, man. I think he might surprise people.
Yeah, I think people underestimate him a lot. I've heard a couple of predictions from different guys, great guys, and they're all like, "Oh, Petro's gonna have way too much hand and stuff." And I'm like, "Do you not remember Yoshi used to be the Arm Wars world champion?
Right.
Like he's had incredible matches with the likes of Ron Bath in kind of Ron Bath's prime. Like
Hmm.
he's no joke. He's no slouch. Like he's willing to sit it out and hang it up. Like I'm pretty sure he broke his arm at Arm Wars years ago. Like
Well, and if you look at how he used to pull and how he pulls now, it's completely different.
completely. But but seeing how he just hung up John Brzenk, Todd Hutchings, like he almost hung out Todd Hutchings to dry. Like that was a close match.
Right.
Like Todd wasn't ever in like extreme deep water, but he couldn't finish the match. Like I
Right.
feel like Todd, he had him always on the A side kind of, but Todd couldn't keep his elbow down because of all that back pressure. And Todd wants to come over constantly too, and he was losing his wrist. But he normally guys to beat Todd Hutchings, they want to take the pronator, but Yoshi was just not allowing him to get the pin because he was taking too much. There was so much pronator there. If your pronator is strong enough, you don't have to take the other person's pronator. You can just even sit
You
there
just sit
and
back
you
because
can just
nine
sit
out of
back
10 times they take their own.
exactly because they'll out hit themselves. I think Yoshi's going to win, and I think Yoshi is going to surprise people. That's if he comes in a good shape. If he
Right.
comes in the shape with John Brzenk and stuff, I think he has a chance.
I
I think
agree.
people underestimate him. Hey, and if Petro Maharan, I don't underestimate him either. So if he wins, I'm not surprised. My prediction is that Yoshi wins. And then there's a couple. There's David Tarikan versus Kamil Jablonski. I don't know
Mm.
this match. Camille says he can always set the flop press. I almost think though that David's gonna just run over his pronator, and then he's not. Even though he sets the flop press, he's gonna be setting it instead of getting down like with his
Right.
fingers like this. He's gonna be turned like this. He'll be turning himself under because David's so fast at when he hooks, he's like just snatch. He snatches over and he keeps his pronator still high, and it's like a major like a drag hook, but he can snatch over. But maybe Camille's pronator is strong enough that when he sets that and stuff, and as he wants to come, David wants to come over, that he actually just gives Camille this, and then Camille's able to come over and then kind of actually like just pressing down through the thumb and stuff. I don't know.
That one would be interesting because I don't know. I know Camille is very good with setting that flop press. I agree with you exactly because when he comes in and snaps inwards, I'm trying to think of that. So if I'm here and I'm coming down like this, man, I don't know. That's going to be it'll be interesting because even if he gets down low, like you're saying, and it's on the thumb, he's going to be cranking down like this more supination flop pressing. He's not going to be in here. He's not going to do like when I flop press, like with Victor, I'm a pronated flop presser. So all of my stuff is dragged back like this, like a Todd Hutchings. I'm always back like this flopping.
But that's
So
Camille as well. If you watch
is he?
him, he
Yeah.
has to have his pronator. He loses his pronator, he completely loses the match. It just goes from here to
Yeah.
every time.
I think Camille's going to lose.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't. I
I
think
think, but I don't know. It might be a really like when I say lose, I'm not saying like a washout, but I think it's going to be a very close match. But I think it's going to, man, when you get to that match, like him and Jerry Caderet, like I don't know how you say like that. When I did that with Victor, I was screwed up for like 2 weeks. Like everything was just pumped and dead. I was like, I don't know how you could do it.
I try sometimes very little with some of the weakest guys in our clubs, and I'm not strong. Like I'm on the lower end of our club, but I go into it and I tell them I'm going into it, so we're communicating, and it hurts. To me, I just can't. Like top roll, hook, or whatever, somebody beats me in a hook or top roll, whatever. But if I flop press and then try to get somebody to pull through, it just hurts. Like I can feel it in my ulnar and everything. Like I'm like, oh, afterwards. And that
See,
sucks.
like, and I don't even, mine's not even a flop press. Like, I know I keep bringing up mine and Victor's match, but it's a good match to study off of, especially for myself. Because in my eyes, a flop press is like this, right? You're coming down, you are like this. Like with me and Victor, if you watch our matches, I'm out and I'm going like this. So I'm like Todd Hutchings side pressure backhand is what I really am. Is because I'm hitting this way. To me, press is hand in front to shoulder or parallel to shoulder. This is side pressure when you're out here. If you're out hand outside of shoulder, I feel like it's side pressure.
But if you watch Jerry sometimes,
That is true. He doesn't. He gets freaking mangled out here like that all the time.
like you watch some of his training right now, he's doing with Nick Stone, and his hand is slightly outside of his shoulder, and he just presses down, and he just presses down, and he just presses down.
Do you think that's because when he's here, he has a lot of internal flexion with his elbow to be able to go like this? To pull inwards?
But he's not pulling inwards.
He isn't.
He doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't pull down like this. He pushes across.
Oh yeah. He presses.
Yeah, he is a legit presser. He says it uses a lot of tricep,
Wait, well,
which most pressers say it doesn't. He says it does. But if you watch him and Camille, they flop press very differently. Jerry can flop press A side or B side. Jerry can flop press in his shoulder. He can hook, or he can flop press outside of his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Camille has to be inside his shoulder, and Camille's hook is not great.
Well, now you got me.
Great. It's great compared to like mine or whatever, but it's not at the elite level. It's not great.
Well, now
Where
you got
Jerry's
me
is elite level.
You got me thinking. So, like, what do you think I was doing with Victor? You think I was pressing more than side pressure?
So Todd Hutchings says that when your arm is here, that is inside your shoulder, and inside your shoulder is shoulder rotation and shoulder pressure. Once your arm is when you're pulling like this, so you're pulling kind of shoulder down and your hand here, that is side pressure.
So that would be, I was definitely using side pressure.
So you were using side pressure.
Yeah, because that was way out like this, hitting across.
Yeah. But as soon as you push forward, then I think you're pressing. But I don't know because
like what you said with Jerry, I kind of do that too. When I hit, I'm hitting like this.
Because you're using then chest and tricep.
Yeah,
a lot.
Chest,
You
tricep,
really because
deltoid.
Because as you're pushing, you're like your front delt, your chest, and everything. You're pushing across with that, right? You're really like,
right.
So I don't know. So that's where it differentiates for me when I see somebody kind of pushing. Then I'm like, it's a press. Where Todd Hutchings never pushes. He's like, I can't push.
Right. All right. So now, my little ass and all the big wigs that we're talking about. Enough with them. I'm sure you've never been asked this, but I'm already throwing this interview off the rails a little bit, so we're going to keep going with it. What's next for you, David? What are we doing?
Well, I've got a kid coming, so that's one thing. But
oh, great! Thank you. Congrats, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. So second kid on the way. I'm hoping hit up another tournament. I'm not nowhere near elite level, just over a year in. So I have a amateur win and a pro tournament win. Hoping to hit up another local tournament, and then I'll probably be out for a little bit. So that's January, I think, the beginning of January or the end of December. I'm not quite sure which one it is. That I'm going to a tournament. Hopefully I can go to the Global Elite and watch, participate, hang out with the dudes, and then provincials mid next year. So those are the next kind of what I'm looking at right now.
Awesome.
I've had opportunities to be on the some of these Mac Challenger series, but at this moment I'm so new to arm wrestling stuff. I really want to get the experience in the tournament world. And we do like club stuff, like I'm close to London arm wrestling team, so like we're Crazy Georges and guys like that. So we'll have them out and stuff. And I think Blake Bouillon, he wants to come out sometime too. He's a little ways away though, but and we're gonna do another club thing where I get a bunch of guys together. We have a couple super matches, and then just hang out and practice for hours. But yeah,
One
that
thing too to
so
do in your club, if you haven't done it already, I'm sure you probably have, is do king of the table, but do it for 2 or 3 volleys. So you have to stay on the table against everybody 2 rotations. So you have to go against everybody twice. It drains, man. And if you don't, so you say you get all the way around, you're the last guy in the second rotation and you lose, starts over and it just keeps on going until somebody wins against everybody twice.
See, that's a problem for me though, because I like train with like our main guy in the club is ranked number 3 at 242 here in Ontario. So I mean,
So
like,
do you
I
guys
mean,
have
like,
bands or pulleys or anything?
yeah. So we do bands with him, and
Yeah.
then we got a bunch of other guys that are also really good, and then also obviously the London team, which is 45 minutes away, with Crazy George and guys. There's like 20 some guys there, and then we have 20 some guys in our group chat, but on average, 7 to 10, 7 to 15 guys show up.
At practice?
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's a nice practice. There you go.
yeah. So
Yeah,
on
come on.
average, I'd say straight through we have 7 guys. Sometimes we have 15. We've had more than that out, but yeah.
Yeah, we're about right now that because it was just me, Nathan, and Ian for a long time. We're probably about because me, Nathan, Ian, Devin, Pierce, Matt, Scotty. I think I got about 8 people. Yeah, 8 between 7 and 9 people also that show up.
Yeah, it's awesome. In the winter, I feel like there's more going. Like people come out to practice more than in the summer. I feel like in the summer, everyone's got hobbies and family life and stuff. Everyone wants to be out and about, camping and going on
Right.
trips. And then in the winter, everyone kind of stays closer to home and comes out to practice more. So yeah, I give me advice on what I should do to really up my level in arm wrestling and stuff.
Well, so what do you like doing? I'll look up some. You guys probably got some training videos and stuff online, right?
I don't really. I have a training video from like almost a year ago, which I should take down because I don't
So
know why I
what do
posted
you
it.
like doing now? I mean, so if you want what I think is to me number like the most important stuff to do no matter what move you're doing. One is center table control. So a lot of internal rotation being here. I think that is like it's in the top 3 to me. Second is going to be rise. Rise is going to be a main thing also. And then second would be rise, and then I would say pronator. After that would be cup. Supination. I've started training supination literally only like a month ago. I haven't trained that for like 6-7 years. I don't ever train this. It's always because I'm always going like this, or I'm being up here, like you said. Everything's usually up high. I don't really ever go train to do this because I don't ever go like this. I'm here. So if you're asking me what I would do for you with me not knowing much about how you pull and what you like, nothing will ever hurt you with always having more internal rotation and center table because you can hit back with a top roll. You can go straight down to a press. You can go into a hook. Everything is controlled then here. And then rise. Those would be the 2 things. This and hooking. Rise is huge. I mean, that's what I stop most of my guys with that I go against is rise. It stops the initial move and then I can go and go in.
So yeah, I'm practicing minimum once a week. I try to practice. What I do for training, I have my own just pulley system that I all built and stuff, and I have high pulley, low pulley. Well, high pulley is just higher than what my hand would be straight up and down, and then low pulley is coming from the bottom. Um, I do side pressure. I have the days all divided up, different moves on each day. Side pressure is Monday, and I do whether with strap over it's like a pronated side pressure, either with strap or a multi spinner, but I hold the multi spinner like Todd Hutchings. I
Yeah,
do
false
no
grip.
ego lifting. I
Yeah.
do no ego lifting. I just false grip it.
Yeah.
Thumb around and everything. Um, I do no ego lifting. I'm a year in, so I'm not interested in injury unless I'm going against a guy and I want to win and he injures me. That's one thing, but I'm not going to injure myself doing any stupid lifts because I can go to practice the next day and say that, well, I lifted half a pound more than somebody else. Um,
Right.
so so that's Monday and normally is side pressure, and I would do that alongside with I'll do a little bit of curls or something. I throw in. I don't do legs because I already work during the day. I have a job, and who needs legs when they arm wrestle? Um,
And don't, hey, now rewind. Don't think of maxing as ego lifting. That is not. I feel like maxes are huge, not for you because you are green. I don't agree with you maxing at all right now. But I feel like maxes are a huge thing with not only to track you that you're getting stronger, like on a high end output, but just overall, like, I mean, dude, like I said, I was doing maxes like before Victor 3 times a week. I was breaking maxes. You ask Dakota Shipton or Brian Parliament and stuff, or Dale, Deadly Dale, any of those guys that you probably know. Um, they've seen all of my stuff because I send it to them every time I do it to show where I'm at and everything. But I'm a strong believer on maxing once you are conditioned enough to do it. But I've offered this to a lot of people. I'll offer it to you. If you ever want to train and do stuff, I always ask people to do FaceTime training with me. I set up my phone and I got a pulley system. I pretty much have everything that probably anybody has. I buy a bunch of shit. If you ever want to do something that's like, hey, let's mirror and do some stuff back and forth, train on things. You show me what you're doing. I'll show you what I'm doing. You do the weight that you want to do. I do the weight that I want to do, and we can work and stuff. It also just makes it a little more fun and a more not competition, but to really learn and see how somebody's doing something.
yeah, for sure. I think that's awesome. I'd love to do that sometime. So Monday, most times is side pressure. Tuesdays, I'll do a lot of wrist flexion. So
Okay.
that I'll do wrist flexion. Some of it will be internal rotation as well, because like wrist wrench, I do has internal rotation and wrist flexion. And then I'll do multi spinner like Devin does. So high and low multi. I'll train
So
that.
you're doing strapped multi,
So
right?
yep. So
Okay.
strapped around the hand, and then Wednesday. That was Monday. Tuesday is yep. Then Wednesday is riser. I try to do that alongside arm wrestling. So the riser still goes on arm wrestling. Wednesday's pronation. Thursday is supination, I believe. And then I'll try to do some blood flow and then some other exercises, just a little bit of other stuff throw in so I at least have a 5 day workout. And then I just do some other light stuff on the side. I'll do with a band. I'll wrap it around and on the back side of the hand, put it over here and like
Mhm.
push out, like rotating out, that kind of pronation. I don't know what it's called. I don't have all these. I don't know what like people talk about their ulnar deviation and all these fancy words. And I'm like, can you move your hand this way or that way? And that sounds good to me. But I do that because I believe climbing in the strap, you want to be able to like open your hand and to be able to climb better and stuff. So for me, I think it helps. I don't, maybe it's something dumb or stupid, but I think it's good to do that with a strap so that it's putting pressure on the back constantly and the
I
tension goes
don't.
up as you pull on the strap.
I wouldn't say it's stupid. In my eyes, if something you are doing as a person is working for you, or even if say it isn't doing anything, but placebo effect is a real thing, and
Oh,
you
it
in
is
your
huge.
mind tells you that it is doing something, and when you practice it, you feel like mentally you are doing something. When you go use it against somebody else, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm seeing the huge difference. Keep doing it. Who cares? There's numerous ways to skin a cat. You do what works for you. You do what's going to drive you to keep better, to keep making it better.
Yeah, no, and I'm a huge believer on placebo effect. And then back to your thing with maxing, I think maxing and ego lifting are huge different. But I think a lot of people did the Devon lifts and stuff. And yeah, I've tried them, but I can't do them every day. It just doesn't work for me. I have already a 7 to 5, 7 to 7 job. So I work every day. I'm
Mhm.
working. And for me to do that kind of stuff every day, I can't arm wrestle well. It slows everything down for me, and I want to be able to work and arm wrestle as well. That arm wrestling is comes below the family and work because I have to supply for everyone. So I have to also think of how I'm doing everything else. And I think what you or like Todd Hutchings, I love what Todd Hutchings does. I think it is huge. I think what you do is probably great, but it also takes years to get there. You didn't get to arm wrestling and day one you didn't start here.
100%.
You're years in before you start there. People have to arm wrestle that you in arm wrestling, you see a big muscular guy. Like we have a guy that comes out to arm wrestling, bench huge numbers, powerlifting. He's gone to powerlifting meets and everything. He come in, 140-pound guy in our club. He's not the strongest dude in our club. Far from it. Not even ranked in Ontario. Top roll him like nothing.
Right.
He's jacked, over 300 pounds, 20 some inch arms. He looks massive. Beat him like nothing. Tendons and joints are huge in arm wrestling. I try to tell everyone that conditioning is real in arm wrestling. You can have the biggest dude come and he will look like the weakest, the smallest dude in the arm wrestling club because size doesn't matter.
Right. No, and I agree. I agree 100%. But that's like what I brought up about consistency before. That is with everything. And the whole reason that I'm able to, my teammates give me shit all the time because they're like, dude, I don't understand how you are not just hurting all the time and you can't like I said, I'm on day 19 of constant training. When we get off in here, I'll be doing 3 workouts and doing training before I go to bed. And then I have practice tomorrow with the whole group.
Yeah.
but it's been exactly what you said. Is it and what I said earlier is it's all consistency. So I've been training hard like my entire life on everything of gym, arm wrestling. It's only this last 3-4 years that I actually ramped up and really started doing maxes. But when it comes about the consistency of me putting in 110% and giving myself in my head max efforts all the time of just even back in the day, just always going as hard as I can. I think I've built up, like you said, tendons and ligaments to the point to where it's, it just takes a little longer for me to hurt. I haven't been hurt in a long time. After Victor was the first time I've been hurt in a long time after a main match. And that's mainly being in a position that I shouldn't be in, that I don't train in, that is different. But in all the good and the bad, consistency is what drives everything. If you consistently arm wrestle and train like shit, you will consistently be arm wrestling like shit. You know what I mean? So you have to train to exactly what you were saying of what works for you and make sure that you don't consistently do the bad things and you're doing the stuff that's working for you. Like with your thing coming out hands, I never do reverse stuff, but I can actually, now that you say it, when you talk about climbing, I could see why if I'm sitting here like this and I can't manipulate anything with my top knuckles with rise, that I can rotate out to get around to come back up. So, I mean, and one thing, you being a year in, don't ever let anybody tell you that what you're saying is wrong, because I don't care if you're 6 months in. You can always teach me something, and I've been in here for 15 years. You can always teach me something just like I can teach you something. Everybody can learn.
Yeah, and I think arm wrestling also is a very community based sport. It seems to, anyways, the more I get to know guys in the community, everyone's down to give you some advice and to their best of knowledge, give the best advice they can give you and actually try to help you out. People aren't, well, there's always going to be those people with egos and have mindset. And I'm myself a shit disturber, so I'll sometimes jump in chats and I'll chirp people and stuff, but it's not out of bad will and stuff, but there's everyone seems to actually want good,
Yeah.
except for all the people that just want drama.
Right. Yeah. Always have fun with it, man. I mean, in all reality, um, it's something that you do for fun. It's something that keeps you motivated to do something. Because if you're like anything like me, I have to have something. Yes, I love having my kids. I love having my wife. I love having friends, my job, stuff like that. But I have to have something to keep me motivated. And the gym and arm wrestling, that's what just keeps me going, you know? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I think like you've already said, but like, and it's probably preaching to the choir, but consistency in everything. That's in your life, that's in your job,
Yep.
workouts, arm wrestling. You can see it. People that have put their lives and created a routine of consistency. Where are they? They're doing a lot better than people that flip flop and do a little bit of everything.
100%. 100%, buddy.
Hey, I've got to get off. So thankful for that you came on and stuff. Where can
You're
people find
thankful.
you?
I'm thankful. Thanks for inviting me. I'm sorry for derailing your freaking stuff, man, but I
No, it was
start
not
talking and it
derailing.
doesn't stop.
Hey, it's all about getting to know each other and creating an atmosphere where people can come in and learn what you can give in this community. So I'm extremely grateful that you come on. Where can people find you and stuff, get to know you better, and I follow your training and get to know daily basis what you do and what matches you have coming up?
Well, I mean, I'm on Facebook, Clifton Erickson. There's a picture of me, my wife, and my two kids on there for the profile picture. Um, Sometimes I post. I've kind of gotten away from posting just because keyboard warriors, I get sick of seeing shit. But that doesn't mean like anybody's welcome to text me or message me and stuff, and I'll send you the stuff I'm doing. I'll talk, have a conversation, give my honest review on what you're saying. Just make sure if you ask me questions and I don't agree with it, I'm going to tell you that I don't agree with it. So you're asking me, and I'm going to give you my honest review on whatever you want or honest opinion. But that's pretty much the best place to get a hold of me is on Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just for those guys that can't get a hold of him on Facebook, you can also go search up Through the Fingers podcast. He is the owner of Through the Fingers podcast, and he's always in the chat.
Who is?
Clifton Erickson.
I am not. I'm not the owner of that.
I'm just joking.
I am not the owner, but I'm always
But
there.
you can always find him in the chat.
I'm always in the chat. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just,
You
I'm
look at,
just,
I'm probably on every podcast that's out there. I'm usually in the chat somewhere.
I'm just waiting. I hope Brian's gonna listen to this part of it, and then he's gonna message me and be like, "No, I started it."
Oh, Brian will kill me. Which I'm pretty fortunate to those guys too for always bringing me on, always letting me speak my mind and stay in the chats. You know, all of you guys. I'm appreciative towards you as well. I mean, all this stuff does is help build me up, and I'm not a marketing guy myself, so you guys help me make
No,
me who I am. So
it's awesome. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please like, subscribe. We're great friends with the guys at Through the Fingers podcast. Also, go check out all their content. We will always be in the comments or on the screen with them. Thanks again, and until next time, Eric or Clifton.
all right, buddy. Nice seeing you. Thanks, guys.